from the internet. It's the Early Night Show, featuring special guest Kyle Rehl. And now here's your host, Alex Ramirez.
It's fucking work. See, I knew it. It was fuck you, Zoom. When you have a microphone plugged in, you don't run the fucking cable through the microphone. All right?
It's all good, man. I was going to say, you could have just called me.
Yeah, I could have called you. That would have been, like, a lot easier, but that's not how talk shows run. We're fucking technologically advanced. You see that shit? Anyway, this is my guest, Kyle. Kyle is a very funny comedian. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Kyle?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in to the Early Night Show with Alex Ramirez. I'm honored to be his first ever guest.
Yeah, maybe the last ever if this not going too great. Oh man, well Kyle, I guess we'll get let's just get started here, man. Coronavirus fucking sucks. I just gotta ask, when is the last time you've wore pants?
Oh man, like actual pants? Are we counting like basketball shorts?
No, I'm fucking talking just anything besides boxers or underwear.
It's been a while. Probably like a week.
I'm not wearing pants right now. Full disclosure. I'm only dressed from the top up.
Well, I guess apparently I am wearing like khakis right now, according to this avatar guest.
Oh yeah, you're pretty built right there.
Yeah.
You got a couple watermarks there, but other than that, it's perfectly fine. You looking real healthy. You got an oversized head, but that's perfectly fine.
I really like the house plants. You really went all out.
Yeah, I found a really cool clip art house plant that just, gave me some vibes. It felt strong, and so I just put it in. I'm glad you appreciate the set. We are very professional here at the Early Night Show. Kyle, it is Mother's Day. Did you tell your mother Happy Mother's Day today?
I did, yeah. I called her earlier, and we had a nice chat. I told her I loved her. And, yeah. It seems like she's doing well. Did you call your mom?
I didn't call my mom because I'm a piece of shit. But I did text my mom and my oh God, I didn't call my grandma. Grandma, no! I'll give her a call after this stream. Anyway, Kyle, let's go ahead and segue into my next question here. Well, who's your favorite MILF of all time?
Oh, probably your grandma.
My grandma?
Yeah.
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that? Why is my grandma your favorite MILF?
She's just a sweetie pie, and she makes the best cookies, and she's great at fucking.
It's true. Would it turn you off if I said that I really look similar to my grandma?
No, that would make me more horny.
Does it make it better?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really flattering, Kyle. I really appreciate that.
Well, you're quite welcome.
Thank you. I try really hard to look my best. Anyway, Kyle here is a comedian, and a damn good one, if I do say so myself. I've seen him perform many times. I'm a huge fan. Kyle, have you always been funny, or how long have you been funny for?
Oh, man. I don't even know if I'm that funny, but I appreciate that. I don't know. Probably like since like middle school. Trying to be funny.
How'd you find out you were funny? What was the inciting incident of your story?
Just lunch table, just chatting up with the bros. Eating tater tots, quoting Step Brothers. You know how
Classic.
it goes.
Did you have a classic go-to joke in middle school?
No, I did not. Yeah, didn't really have much material. It was more of a kind of like a fart comic.
You know what? In middle school, that kills though.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that you were a solid comedian even back then. How'd you get your start in comedy though? Because you're not from Los Angeles originally, right?
Yeah, I'm from Georgia. Shout out to the worst state. And
hey, they have good peaches, or so I hear.
The peaches are just okay, to be honest with you.
So are you telling me that song lied? Moving to the country, gonna eat me a lot of peaches? So you're telling me they're eating shit peaches?
He didn't specify which part of the country. He just said moving to the country.
Oh, you're right. I fucked it up. I was going to assume that if you were going to move to any countryside and eat peaches, it was going to be Georgia, since that is the state of peaches and also racism.
Yeah, definitely racism and terrible governors.
Or so, yeah, I believe it. But anyway, man, the comedy scene in Georgia, how'd you start out?
So went to college at the University of Georgia. Go Bulldogs. Kind of just had some friends that were doing stand up and that I like to like hang out with and joke around with, and they were doing it, and I was like, oh, I bet I could do this, and I tried it, and I like instantly fell in love with it. Took a long time to get good at it, but it was cool. They have their own little cool little like college scene there. It was a great experience. It was lots of fun. They have good shows there. I go back every now and then.
That's awesome. How's the scene over there? Is it very, like, do you think it's hard to do stand-up in Georgia, or at least, like, find a place to do stand-up? Because I come from a pretty small town in California, and it was, like, I'd have to drive, like, at least 45 minutes just to get, like, a 5-minute open mic set. Did you have a similar experience, or was it pretty easy to come across stuff?
It really depends on like what part of Georgia you're in. So like I started in Athens, Georgia, which is like an hour away from Atlanta. Atlanta's a pretty good scene. They have like a lot of good shows there, lots of open mics. So it's like that's like kind of like one of the hubs for sure in the South to do comedy. So the scene in Atlanta is good, and if you live outside of Atlanta, there's little tiny scenes everywhere, but you do have to do a good amount of driving if you want to get up more regularly, for sure.
Yeah, I used to do. It sounds about right for my experience as well. I used to live in Merced, California, which is the Central Valley, and I used to have to drive to like, goddamn, like not Santa Cruz, but like San Jose and like those areas, just for like a 3-minute open mic. And I remember the last time I went, I got like yelled at by people, so I just I never went back. But I traveled 2 hours to get yelled at for my shitty jokes. So that was great. And
that happens, man. It's happened to everybody.
Hecklers are the fucking worst, dude.
Yeah.
But now you're living out here in Los Angeles. You've been living here for a while, or living there, I should say. Not really in Hollywood. The sign's deceiving. I just thought it was a nice little skyline there. You've been living in LA for a little bit. What prompted you to move all the way from Georgia to Los Angeles?
Really just comedy, man. I graduated college and I was like, hey, I want to like go to a place that one has better weather and better laws, and and is like a place in entertainment where you can, get up a lot, and lots of other good comics are there, so it pushes you to get better. And my brother already lived out here, so I visited out here several times before. So
that's awesome. Yeah, it's difficult to move to Los Angeles on your own. I think I was very fortunate enough to have my friend Tony be here as well. Does your brother do comedy as well, or were you just like completely diving into the scene alone?
Yeah, he does not do comedy. He's a television writer.
You're the funny brother. He's a television writer. What the fuck? I didn't know that. What's your brother write for?
Well, he wrote for The Fosters. It was a show on ABC Family / Freeform, is what it's called now.
Nice.
So then he just kind of does like pilots and stuff, and works every now and then.
Is he open to pitches? I've got all sorts of ideas, Kyle.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. You want to pitch you right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Elevator pitch. Right off the top of my head. Okay. There's a superhero, right? Superheroes are hot. Okay? But
Sexy or
what was that?
like sexy hot?
Well, I mean, a little bit of both. Chris Evans has a sweet ass. But, they're a hot topic right now. People fucking fly out to see action movies and superhero movies. But, we're not hitting a subgenre that's really important to superheroes, and that's food. Because what else do Americans love more than superheroes is food. That's why I'm here to pitch you Manicotti Man. He's a man made out of manicotti after he was bitten by a radioactive dish of pasta, and now he's snuffing out crime with flavor.
Okay.
If you don't like that one, I also have Shotgun Man and Pistol Boy. You'll come to find that a lot of my superheroes end with man. I hope that's okay. I think it's just easy marketing.
Yeah.
But I got those 2 hot commodities if your brother's interested. You should talk after the show. I'll have to
email me.
I'll have to send my agents your way. But yeah, man, you've been doing comedy for a little bit. But how was your start to stand up in Los Angeles? Like, were you going into it everything by yourself, or did you have any friends?
Not really. Went in pretty blind. I knew a couple people out here, but yeah, I just doing open mics and meeting people through that, just kind of bonding together through that experience. And
Hey, you shut up, Kyle's on a fucking talk show.
Yeah, so just doing open mics and stuff, and then doing, like, at the beginning, doing bringer shows, which is just, like, you gotta, like, bring your friends to the show in order to perform, which is a nightmare, because obviously they don't book off of talent, they just book off of who can bring people.
That's really rough, I imagine, too. It's also probably hard to get, like, feedback, because no one's there to, like, for the comedy.
Yeah, and, like, also, like, it's one of those things where if someone has, like, 15 or 20 of their friends, like, randomly, they're just gonna laugh at like half one person's jokes.
That sucks.
Hey, yeah, you are like that in real life.
That's so relatable. So fuck, it's just like a group of inside jokes. That's not fun at all.
Yeah, it's not fun, and a lot of people that are doing those shows aren't very talented. And you're kind of just exploiting your friends, really, in exchange for stage time, pretty shamelessly. Just like texting people, like, "Hey, what are you doing this weekend?" And trapping them and guilting them into come see you do like 5 minutes. But it was something. It was better than just doing open mics all the time. And then once I realized that I could like recruit people to come to bringer shows, I was like, I'm just gonna start my own show because I already know how to get people to come to shows, and I'll book like good people.
Dude, that's fucking nuts. So you just like straight up, you just started your own thing instead of going to like bringer shows or open mics?
Well, yeah, I mean, you still go to open mics and stuff to work stuff out, but in terms of shows, yeah. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate that. But yeah, man, just you have to make your own way out here. You got to find your own stage time, make your own stage time, and it's it's tough, but it's really rewarding. For sure.
Dude, you guys have a really good show over at the I can never say the fucking name of it. The Bueno Underground is fucking solid. That's insane. I didn't know that like you had just said fuck it and started your own show. That's pretty honestly impressive. I feel like to have your own show in Los Angeles is very difficult enough, and then like you're actually getting like really good like talent names to your guys' show. That's insane.
Dude, well, you know what's cool about living in LA? The comedy scene here, there's so many people who have been on like TV or movies or whatever who are good comics, and there's so many people. It's so saturated, and there's so few shows that like most of them are so down to do your show. As long as it's like a decent show, they're excited to do a show for like they'll do a show for like 10 people. They don't give a shit, which is cool. It's like these people you see on like Comedy Central and stuff, and they're like in some garage somewhere doing 10 minutes to 10 people. It's humbling, but it's also like, I mean, that's the kind of work ethic that, you have to have just doing stuff like that all the time.
That's badass. How did you guys actually come across your venue? Did you just straight up like go to that wine place and just like, hey, we want to do a comedy show. Can we use your basement?
Yeah. So, Vino is like this like wine bar, and they have like this cellar, and then there's like a showroom in the cellar. So it's kind of like a underground kind of vibe, whatever. Hence the name. Yeah, so there was like an open mic there when I first came out here, and I would just go to it all the time, and just met a lot of good friends there, and eventually like became friends with the manager and was just like, hey man, I mean, you have an open mic here, like how about you get some like real people in here like buying drinks and stuff and all this, and I kind of just went for it, and yeah, we just started doing the show, and then a bunch of other shows started happening there too, so kind of took off from there. Hopefully, they survived this COVID nonsense.
Yes. Fuck, man. That sucks. I really hope it's so too. That was a really great show.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. It's all this goddamn 5G, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude. They keep building these goddamn towers next to my apartment building and my head won't stop hurting. It's
Bill
insane.
Gates. 5G, 5 gates. Look it up.
Oh my god. The fifth gate of hell. My theory is that it's one number too close to 6, and what is 666, the number of the beast? We get one more G, we're opening a portal to hell. I'm just putting it out there, okay? I have a really similar story about trying to open a venue, but mine did not go as successfully as yours. Back in my hometown, when I wanted to do stand-up, when I was like just turning 18, I tried going to bars to say, hey, like, you know, I would do a comedy show here, and no one would say yes. The only business that said yes in our entire hometown was a hookah lounge. And I, like, it was the most uncomfortable meeting ever. He made me schedule a meeting to sit down with the owner. He kicked, like, everyone out of the place, turned off all the music, and just sat down in a chair with me. He's like, why should I let you have a show here? And I was just like, fuck, man, like, there's no comedy in Merced, so I guess you could probably be the only business to have a comedy show. And he's like, I can't pay you, but you can have as much hookah as you want. So I fucking opened that. I had a show that I advertised for like a couple weeks, and like no one besides my coworkers showed up. And I did like, I think for my first ever stand-up set, I did like a 30-minute set. And,
oh my god.
Yeah, it was not good. But I fucking talked for 30 minutes, and it was insane.
That sounds terrifying.
It was terrifying, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't... there's no way it could have gone well.
No, not at all. Like, in that way, I'm very glad no one showed up.
Is it like one of those shows where, like, no one there knows that a comedy show's happening?
Exactly.
Oh, dude, that's the best. When that's going on, and you just know, like, as soon as you're there, you're like, cool, this is a huge waste of time for everybody.
Yes.
I'm just going to do crowd work and talk to people and probably annoy some people, and maybe I'll get a couple funny riffs in, and then I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, man, it was super lame, but I did it, and that was that's my little story. I definitely didn't pursue stand-up, but I really enjoy going to your shows, and I think you're killing it. You have a show with your good friend Tommy. How did you guys meet? Tommy Wakefield.
Yeah, Tommy Wakefield. Look him up. We actually met at Vino. We were just the open mic there. We just became friends, kind of hit it off, and we just watched each other perform and riff with each other, give each other ideas and stuff. And we kind of moved out here at the same time, and we're both from the South, so we had a lot to bond over. And he's a great guy.
Yeah, he's very funny too. That's crazy. I thought you guys have the sort of friendship like, oh, these guys must be friends for like a long ass time. I thought you guys were friends from college. That's nuts.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we just kind of hit it off. He's a great dude. You should have him on the show.
I miss going, man. I miss going to those shows. Yeah. So you have some bits about back home that I want to talk to you about because they make me laugh very hard.
Okay.
You have a bit about selling weed to your kid you used to babysit. Is that a true story?
Cannot confirm or deny.
Did you do a lot of babysitting when you were?
There was a kid there. I didn't really babysit too much. There was a kid that like when I was in college, I went home and I like bought weed from him, and he was like a friend of a kid I used to babysit, and it was just like a weird experience.
How did that conversation go?
Just pretty awkward. Like, it's weird, like, when you're, like, the older person, but you feel like he's cooler than you.
Oh, my God.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like, texting him, he's, like, texting, like, bet. Like, instead of, like, yes, he's just saying bet. And I'm like, okay, I just learned what that word means. And meeting him at a Kroger parking lot, going into his pickup truck, just vape smoke everywhere.
He sounds like a class act weed dealer, if I'm being honest.
Fucking like ladies from the neighborhood, like moms from my neighborhood walking by, like waving to him and stuff. Well, what's Kyle doing in Jay's truck? I don't know.
They knew what they were doing. He supplies the whole town.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like the Narcos of Woodstock, Georgia.
That's a powerful position to be in. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
That's so funny you mentioned about the lingo of people younger than us, because I remember when I was 18, dude, I'm fucking gonna be honest. I've never understood lingo at all. Like my whole life, people throw around slang words and shit. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like a popular one when I was in school, people were like, "Hey, shoot me that." They'd tell you to bring it over. And I remember the stupidest fucking joke I ever said was this guy Prince told me to shoot something over to him, and I looked over at him and I said, "No, Prince, that will break it." But fuck, man, I this is so embarrassing. I Google things like common like lingo that people are saying these days, and I'm trying to think of something. What's popular among these kids these days?
Oh man, shoot. I mean, I'll look at Twitter. Let's see. I mean, like.
You know what? I remember one specifically. It was out of pocket. I had no fucking idea what that meant. I had to Google it.
Yeah, I had to Google that too. And then no cap. That's another one.
Dude, yes. I'm sitting here my whole fucking life. I'm like, do people just like meet and just agree upon starting these phrases, or just someone just say it and it just catches on? Because it just blows my mind.
You know, I think a lot of it comes from that hip hop rap music that these kids are listening to.
This hip hop.
I think a lot of it is just like, oh, it's like this word that I know and you don't know, and that makes me cool. And then like once everyone starts saying it, like
gotta come on. You gotta make a new word.
Yeah, like words go out of fashion so quick because like it's all about saying it and no one knows what the fuck you're talking about. And you're like, oh, I'm cool. I'm speaking a goddamn different language that no one understands unless they're 13.
Yes. Yeah, that actually is a good topic as well. We had a lot of slang in California. I'm sure you know about like hella and all that stuff. Did you guys have any lingo back in Georgia that people don't understand here in California or over there in California? I keep forgetting I'm not there.
What do you mean? Hollywood's right there.
It's just in the background. It's at the fucking window, dude.
I mean, you know, y'all. Oh, I gotta think. This is a good question. This is a good question.
Did you guys use ratchet?
Yeah.
That's a national one.
That's all 50 states right there. Man, that's a good question.
I think it might just be a California thing. We say weird shit apparently.
No, I mean, there's definitely things that people say. I really, it's just like how you say it in the South. Like, you just talk like kind of slow like this, and you know, little drawl make it sound a little cooler. You know, oh, it's all laid back. I don't like Cali because it's like laid back. It's like a Matthew McConaughey thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
can you do a Matthew McConaughey for us?
All right.
It's pretty good. That's a pretty good Matthew. I would hire you for that one.
Really? That'd be great, actually. How much? I need money.
How much do you charge per hour?
$3 per hour, and if you want me for the day, it's $18.
I can hold on a fucking second. If I pay you $18, you'll just impersonate Matthew McConaughey for the entire day?
Oh, 18,000, my friend.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a lot. I can so it's $3,000 for what? For a minute?
No, $3,000 an hour.
Okay.
18 grand for a day. Don't question my math on that.
That's a lot of money, man. I would have to really make sure that I can get the most out of that hour. I just have to. I would call all my friends and family like, dude, I fucking met Matthew McConaughey today. Listen to this shit. So I personally think you're doing a great job in Los Angeles. I know I obviously don't have a lot of knowledge about the stand-up scene in LA, but I mean, you've done some really cool shows with people like Mike Falzone, and like you get a lot of big names. You get a lot of big names coming to your show. I'm sure it wasn't always that way. How did you really get the ball rolling with your show in Los Angeles?
You know, it's like one of those things where you kind of start like booking your friends and stuff. People you like, people you think are funny that maybe aren't that well known. And then like once your show gets a little bit of momentum, and people can see like photos from the show, and they can see like sometimes you got good turnout or whatever. Yeah, just like reach out to people. It's really not that hard, honestly. Like there's a lot of people that I book that I don't even really know. Like yeah, I just like kind of slide into their DMs and be like, hey, you want to do my show like this day? And most of the time they're down if they can do it. Because like comics are like workaholics. Like they're just trying to get up as much as possible. So
Are they pretty receptive to the DMs whenever you reach out?
yeah, for the most part. I mean, some people like, sometimes you get left on red. It's like whatever. I don't even care. Okay, I didn't even want you on my show. No, but I mean, people have priorities. Like if they're a certain level of comic, then maybe it doesn't make sense for them to do a smaller show, or they don't want to drive to that part of town or whatever because they live far away, or so but it's all good because that's just how it goes. I think some people it's funny to see some people get like a big head and they have like no success at all, and that's like the funniest thing in the world to me. So there's a lot of that too, but for the most part people are really nice.
Do you guys pay your guests, or are they just there for the stage time? Because I know that's a huge thing in Los Angeles too. Is it's very difficult to find stage time that like you don't pay for, or like your bringer shows like you were talking about.
Yeah. So I run two shows. So there's Vino Underground, which you talked about, and then there's another one called Heavy Heavy Low Low. And that one we have a sponsor, a weed dispensary sponsor for it. And they give us money to pay comics, which is cool because it is rare in LA. It's actually kind of funny that since all this happened with coronavirus, I've done like a couple Zoom like stand-up shows, and I've gotten paid more from doing a Zoom comedy show than I've ever gotten paid to do a real live comedy show in Los Angeles.
That's fucking crazy. I was actually going to ask, like, how has that affected stand-up? Like, you're doing Zoom shows. How do those Zoom shows go? Like, are you talking to an audience?
Dude, it's a toss-up. Some of them are actually pretty fun, and other ones, it's a goddamn train wreck. Like, people are immediately they're like sneezing during your set. People are talking over you. Like, the internet is shitty or whatever, so you're like going in and out. It's all in good fun. You're just trying to just work those muscles or whatever. But yeah, there's some that are just terrible. Like just people. I think what people don't understand is like you just treat it like a normal show. Like the people who tune in to watch just want to watch people do their bits. They don't want to watch like 8 different comics talk over each other and try to get to the punchline first and compete or whatever. Because I've done a couple like that and it's super annoying, and it's not. I don't think it's fun for anybody.
Yeah.
It's funny though because it's like so you can like put it on a grid view, so you can see everyone's faces. Like you can't hear them, so you just like see them laughing, which is like how you have to go off of it. Basically, you're like, oh, you look like you're laughing, so I'm just gonna like pause until you look like you're done laughing, which is kind of interesting.
That's good though.
Yeah. But no, it's definitely unique. It's cool. I think I might start a Zoom stand-up show actually at some point here because the ones that I've done that I've liked, I think I could replicate something like that, and it's a fun time. Like I would just watch them honestly.
Yeah, that actually sounds like. I mean, that's something that would definitely be pretty sweet during these times because we're not able to go out to see a stand-up show right now, especially like your underground one. Like hell no, everyone's so packed in there. That's Corona Central down there, so a Zoom show would be pretty sweet. Who are these people hiring you for Zoom shows though? I'm super curious.
I mean, they're just like me. They're just trying to stay busy and keep some kind of sense of community going, which is actually pretty nice. And then, I mean, sometimes it's just like I've done one where it's just like mainly like people doing like musicians or like poets, and then there's like 2 comics. That's not bad either. Like I liked all of it, so I can't complain. I mean, we're making the most of it. I mean, you're making the most of it. You got this Twitch stream going. You got your audience in the comments. Dustin, what's up, man? It is okay if you're shirtless right now. I promise.
Dustin, I was like, I'm not even wearing pants.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Dustin, just shirtless?
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
Just be naked. Who cares?
Just be. That's another thing. Wait. So we're talking about Southern sayings, or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone said fix them. That's definitely one of them. Like fix them, like naked.
Naked?
Naked out there.
Fuck.
Yeah. And then when they say the days of the week, it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like they just give up on the last syllable. It's kind of fun. Dude, I'm just randomly thinking of random shit right now.
No, that's okay. If you think of more, you throw them out. I want to learn more about Georgia. Doesn't Georgia have a really big like film community?
Georgia, yeah, Georgia got a big film community. They got them tax incentives down there. They got all kinds. They got Tyler Perry. Y'all seen Medea? That Medea. When he dresses up like that woman, oh my lord.
I do love the Medea.
Jesus heaven.
Tyler Perry has just like fucking bottomless movies with Medea. Medea can literally do anything, and they can make it into a fucking movie. It's insanity.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Medea, blah 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 blah.
And
Medea joins ISIS.
Yes. Medea did 9/11 on accident.
It's like really dark.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fucking hilarious comedy. It's like how she accidentally stumbled her way through 9/11. Oh lordy, those twin towers are going down. Oh fuck.
She lost her glasses and she stepped into the cockpit, and you know what happened. You know the rest.
Medea. She never fessed up to it either. That's the worst part. She started a whole fucking war.
Bin Laden. Listen, Bin Laden didn't even do anything wrong.
He was just a fucking guy, man.
Really, he was actually planning his own series where he dressed up like a woman, and Tyler Perry found out, and he said, no, you don't step on my turf. I'm gonna blame you.
Are you fucking telling me that Tyler Perry and George W. Bush, are you telling me that George W. Bush and Tyler Perry were working in tandem to take down Osama bin Laden because Osama bin Laden was trying to steal the high fucking concept of Medea films?
Yes, dude. George Bush loves Tyler Perry movies. Everybody knows this.
Have you told this to Alex Jones? He could break the fucking news out to people and they'd listen.
No, Alex Jones is a hack.
Do you think
he wouldn't pick up? He wouldn't pick up something like this. He's too mainstream. He's a sellout.
Yeah, that's definitely off his territory. Then, do you think this talk show is better than Alex Jones' InfoWar? Because I mean,
oh yeah, hands down. You can quote me as saying that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So something I was going to ask you is I just found out that people from Washington just fucking hate people from California. And I am, every time someone passes me in the freeway, like aggressively, I feel like it's because I have California license plates. How did your family or just people you know in Georgia react to you moving to California?
Family was pretty cool with it. I mean, mainly because my brother was already out here. I think when you do something like that, there's a lot of people who want to see it not work out for you.
That's
so like you go
up.
home and they're like, how's it going in LA? And you're like, it's going pretty good. And they're like, really? Are you sure? I bet rent is so, how expensive is rent? It must be, is gas like really high? Isn't it really high out there? It's just like, dude, like fuck off. Like, I don't know. I just see a lot of that when I go back home, but it's just like, it's people who are either they feel like you're trying to say you're better than them for some reason because you don't live in Georgia, which is hilarious to me.
Oh, you're too good for Georgia, huh?
Yeah.
That's
yeah. Or they're just, they want to make a move like that. They're just too scared to do it. So like, whatever. But there's people who are haters. We all got our haters out there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck. Apparently, I just found this out the other day because I found out like two of the most common states for people to move out of California are to Washington and to Texas. The Texas one surprised me, like, especially living in California. Like, I moved to Washington because the fucking weather up here is like much better than most places in California. I feel like moving to Texas would almost be worse unless you're living in like Isn't northern Texas a little less desert than the rest of Texas? I don't know how fucking Texas works.
I think it's like East Texas with more like trees and stuff, like Dallas and I don't know. Yeah, this is not my forte. I'm not a map.
We're both getting out of our fucking comfort zone, Kyle. I don't know shit about Texas. That's the big one, right? Texas. What? Have you always wanted to be a comedian, or was there something else you wanted to do when you were a kid?
Like when you're like really young, you want to like be like a baseball player or something, and then you realize that everyone around you has just been like lying to your face about how athletic you are. and then you turn like 18 and you're like, oh, I can't do this at all, and now I have to decide what I want to do with the rest of my life. Thanks, everyone. But actually, I mean, I would always like go home from school and watch like Comedy Central and stuff, Mad TV, and like their half-hour stand-up specials on Comedy Central. So there's a part of me that always wanted to do it, and like I think that I always enjoyed making sketches and stuff in high school, like on YouTube and all that stuff. So yeah, I think there was a part of me that always wanted to do it, and then when I finally got the courage to try it, I really liked it, and just stuck with it.
What really pushed you like to try it in the first place? Was there anything specific, or is it just like a fuck it moment? Like,
I'd wanted to do it for a while. I was like scared, and then just kind of all my friends were doing it, and I was like, you know what, dude? Like they're all doing it. Like I know I can do it, so like fuck it. Yeah, I mean it was kind of like a fuck it moment. And then I did it, and I was like, oh, well, this is great, and like if I could make a living off of this one day, which I still haven't, I could, it would be a fun lifestyle, just like dicking around, so, and what's cool is like when you go and do shows like outside of LA, like in LA, like everyone is no one, like everybody's, so you like go like outside of LA, it's like some random town or like in Ventura or something like that, and the whole town is just like, yeah, this is like what we have going on tonight. So it's like you're just like a superstar for these like people in Merced.
Dude, no, those are the best shows. Honestly, the small town shows were like some of my favorite to be at. Like, I tried stand up for a little bit in Los Angeles, doing like open mics, like going to that fucking not Laugh Factory, the Improv, their fucking lottery system, and it was always awful every time I went. But the small town shows, man, like, those people, I mean, even me living in town, it's so hard to find like entertaining stuff, and so you go perform for these people and they're just like eating it up, and it's like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, like there's definitely a difference between like LA audiences and people like who aren't from like a big city, because I think that especially like in LA, with it being like an entertainment capital and everybody's trying to do some form of the same thing, people are like super jaded, which I think can help, because it makes you work really hard at your material, but at the same time, sometimes the shows are just like not as fun as going to a place with like real people who work like real jobs, and they don't get to go to entertaining shows like that all the time. So it's a lot of fun.
Speaking of all that competing and stuff, from what I understand, the comedy scene in LA can be a little cutthroat. You ever have any kind of rough experiences like that with like other comedians, especially maybe in like these bringer shows or anything?
For the most part, people are actually pretty nice in my experience. I think that here's the thing. I think that a lot of people take things personally, and they shouldn't. Like sometimes someone might have a certain attitude because they have some kind of status that you don't have, and so they might say something, you might take it the wrong way, whatever, and then you kind of just project like, oh, it's kind of like what I was just saying with like the Georgia, California thing. You're like, oh, you think you're fucking better than me? Like all that shit. And it's really, I think that people just take stuff too personal in a lot of those instances. I mean, yes, there are absolutely people who are assholes, but the thing that I like about LA is that all of us are so irrelevant. It doesn't matter if you've done TV shows or not. No one cares. Like if you had done like a TV show and you were a comedian based out of like Seattle, then you'd be like one of the best like biggest people in Seattle, but in LA, there's like hundreds of people who have done TV shows, so no one really gives a shit, and that's really refreshing, especially because a lot of times in smaller scenes, comedy can be just such a like a hierarchy, and there's so many like gatekeepers, and you have to like suck everyone's dick to like get stage time. But out here, there's so many different comics, there's so many different scenes and shows that you can choose whose dick you want to suck. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of refreshing.
Well, whose dick have you sucked? I mean, who was the best dick? You know,
I signed an NDA. I can't talk about it.
It says our friend Dustin here says that you fucked his wife.
I can confirm I did fuck Dustin's wife, and you know what, Dustin? Wasn't that good.
That hurts. Damn. Why would you do that to Dustin? He's been nothing but kind. He actually got both of us hired. God damn it. Fuck you, Dustin. I don't need this shit. Oh, fuck.
Hey, we got him money, though.
Huh?
We got you money, though. We got him money, though, because he got
right.
Fired, so.
We got you a bonus. I guess we're coming down to the end of the show here. I guess my question is, you know, what are you, after this virus shit is all done, I know that we spoke personally a while ago and you said you really want to, you know, you want to work on your comedy and stuff. Do you have any goals and stuff for maybe the next year? Are you working towards anything specifically or just, you know, working on your material?
You know, I haven't really been writing too much. It's really hard to, I've found, to be creative in this environment, at least with stand-up. Because, like, for me, so much of writing stand-up is just, like, feeding off of the moment, like, trying a joke out, and, like, this part of it worked and this part didn't. Okay, let's try this out, and blah, 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 and you get that initial feedback. It's really hard to write, like, a whole bit when you can't really get actual feedback. Because you might have written like 4 pages and try it out when all this is over, and turns out it's absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
And also, it's really hard too because like I think that everybody is kind of doing like quarantine comedy right now, and like that's fine. Like I get that, but the problem with that is like if you're writing jokes about what's funny right now, and then you perform it 3 months from now, it's really not going to be that funny. And also like everyone's going to have like the same take, so. I kind of just been trying to like shoot sketches and stuff, and just been editing videos for friends and that kind of stuff. I would like to, I mean, dude, when all this is over, like I do want to hit it really hard though. And like, oh yeah, I just want to perform again in front of real people at a real show. And I have no idea what the timeline is, but I definitely want to hit comedy like even harder than ever after all this.
For sure.
So nothing like nothing specific really, because I just don't even really know what the future holds. But yeah, I just miss it a lot.
Yeah, man. I hope she gets back to normal too. I hope your guys' show continues to go well. I think that was a really fun little monthly event.
Yeah.
Any personal goals? Any personal goals you're working towards quarantine?
Yeah, man, I'm just trying to mentally be better. I started doing like therapy over like Zoom and stuff. I think has been good for sure. And honestly, like now is the time to do it. Like I have nothing else going on. I can't be like, I don't have time. And like it's already been helpful. And so kind of there's like that self-discovery part of it, which is cool. What else? You know, trying to like work out a little bit more and getting better at cooking. I did also get an Xbox One yesterday.
Nice. So you're becoming a gamer. You can tune into my Gamer Girl streams now.
Yeah. I figured I'd plug this since we're on Twitch.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'll probably just fuck around with that a little bit. I don't know, man.
I saw you.
I do all this. What's up?
I said I saw that you were debating watching The Passion of the Christ on shrooms. Did you end up going through with that?
I didn't, and let me tell you, I'm very happy I did not do that. At the very beginning of all of this, like, so both of my roommates left to quarantine somewhere else. So I was alone for like a week and a half, and I was starting to go insane. And I took a hit of acid, and it was like such a bad idea.
Oh my god.
It's like, I don't know who's all listening, but if you're quarantining by yourself, do not take acid, especially right now. Your mind will go to the darkest fucking place. And, yeah. And then I called my now girlfriend, and she came over. Been quarantining ever since together, which has been really nice. But boy, that was a nightmare.
So it sounds like now you can take them shrooms and live tweet Passion of the Christ. Because that's an experience that I would look forward to.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? I mean, Mel Gibson, he's a fucking savant.
That guy's fucking
an
crazy. There was, oh man, I'm not even going to bring it up because I cannot remember the fucking plot of it. You know what? I do. Mel Gibson was in a fucking movie that I actually had to watch at, our work that I previously did with you. And the premise of it was like Mel Gibson was a bad cop. And the B story was that there was a group of robbers robbing the fucking like biggest bank in the city. And because Mel Gibson and his partner Vince Vaughn were crooked cops, they figured out their plot, but then they waited to ambush them, and then Vince Vaughn gets his hand shot off, and Mel Gibson makes off with the money. Insane. Mel Gibson's fucking crazy is the point of that story.
That's so funny. That's like the two like most Republican actors in one action movie together. That's great.
Oh my god, I know. What would have happened to Vince Vaughn, man? Like, just bring back Dodgeball.
Just do a remake. You know how they keep doing these live action remakes? Let's do an animated remake of Dodgeball. Put it on Disney Plus. Something for the kids. Everyone will have a good time.
I agree. I'm all for that. All right, man. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up. I really enjoyed speaking to you. Thanks for being my first guest. I hope people enjoyed this. I think it was fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm honored to be your first guest. This is gonna go down in the history books, man.
My personal history books. I'm gonna bookmark this day as good.
Which Hall of Fame?
Which Hall of Fame? The Jack Off Book Hall of Fame. I'm gonna jerk off about this for the rest of my life. Whenever I'm down, I'm gonna twiddle my little dick. I'm like, ooh, Kyle came on my show. So I hope that makes you feel better.
It does. It does make you feel better.
All right, guys. Well, that is the end of the very first early night show with Alex Ramirez and special guest Kyle Rehl. I hope you guys liked it. Maybe I'll do it again in the future. I don't know who the fuck I would ever get for guests. Kyle's like my most, famous friend, so it's only downhill from here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys all have a good night, and thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.